us, I want you to be a part of this, beautiful day, that kind of thing. But hey, can you respect our family just because we have a bunch of elderly people who are here, and just take a COVID test before you go? And that's sure, that's no problem. But I wonder how prevalent or how mainstream this ask is going to be, going forward. Somebody invites you to a 4th of July party or something like that. And it's going to be hot that day, so most of you are going to be inside if you're not in the pool kind of thing. And they say, hey, would you mind? We're going to have, Grandma Sally and, Aunt Susie and whatever, and they're older. Could you take the test before you come? Why not? Why not? What's it hurt? It's going to make them feel better. They're still trying to have a party, but they're trying to just make sure that their elderly family members are safe too. I'm totally fine with that, right? So that goes back to my point of, it doesn't hurt to have some of these in your pocket, because just in case, not even because you're sick, but just because places that you go, or you might want to be, if you're traveling, wouldn't you want to make sure that, when you got somewhere that you were okay before you went and visited relatives? Yeah, what's it hurt, right? Coldplay is adding kinetic dance floors and energy-storing stationary bikes to their latest world tour to reduce its carbon footprint. The band's encouraging fans to help power and show that they dance or spin. You'll be actually generating it. It's one of the ways that the tour hopes to be more environmentally friendly. The band says it hopes to cut its CO2 emissions by 50%. One of the best concerts I have ever been to with Coldplay. I wasn't even that excited about going to see them, and then by the end of it, I was like, I'm a fan. Can I buy all of their music? I might need 3 t-shirts. I don't care if they're $80 a piece. Best concert, just phenomenal. All right, we come back. Look what we're doing. We're changing it up. It's CNBC's Jane Wells doing her business buzz this morning. And why? Well, because Jane's on a little, let's see, she's on a pork, I guess you could say. Is she going porky? No, this is all going wrong. We've got a lot less pork in California, possibly. And Jane's doing a pork story, if you will. And she's going to bring it to us this morning because she's not going to be in California tomorrow. I'll tell you where she's going to be and what she's doing. That's all straight ahead. But right now, from the Southern California Toyota Dealers Traffic Center, let's go places like the 101.
Uncle Johnson on the northbound side, before Lindero Canyon in the Westlake Village area, it's a wreck involving a tanker truck that has the left lane shut down. Really not too bad of a drive for you there, so more so a heads up than anything. As you make way westbound along the 105 through Linwood off the 710, heading toward about Wilmington Avenue, definitely busy for you there. 91 West is an alternate through LA County, looks good for the moment. Northbound side of the 5 getting out of Norwalk and Santa Fe Springs from both for the 605, busy into and through Commerce towards Floss and a bit of relief, and then heading again for you 5 northbound, coming out of East LA and Commerce off the 710 through Boyle Heights toward downtown LA and the 101. KFI in the sky helps get you there faster. I'm Nick Poliokini. At Sit and Sleep, we know how you really feel about today's inflation. It's killing me, Larry! Right, Erwin. So Sit and Sleep's having a memorial sale that'll put you and inflation right to bed. Good! These gas prices are giving me gas! During our memorial sale, save over 50% off all the best brands. And with your gift credit, sleep interest-free for 36 months with your minimum monthly payment. And with our special Memorial Day financing, you can sleep on a brand new Sealy, UDS, or Purple for around $1 a day. Wow! The only thing I can buy for $1 these days is one sip of a chai latte with no foam. Plus, save up to $500 on Tempur-Pedic adjustable sets and up to $800 on Purple sleep systems. And before you buy a Sleep Number, try our Smart Life mattress and save up to $1,000 on Smart Life adjustable sets. So if inflation has you screaming, it's killing me, Larry! Trust your sleep to Sit and Sleep during the memorial sale that will put you and inflation right to bed.
SoCal weather from KFI, kind of a change from what we've had. So today is just going to be partly cloudy. Highs at the beaches are just going to be in the mid-60s. Looks like we will make the low 70s for Metro LA and OC. And then if you are inland, highs are just going to be in the upper 70s to right at 80s. We lead local. Live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom, I'm Jennifer Jones-Lee.
Good God, this body is in shape for a big summer at Oasis Pool. So long as round is a shape. Is this thing on? Oh, geez. And now, the top 5 reasons to visit Morocco. Number 5.
That's the Mr. George giveaway. Compare Teardrop earrings when you earn 500 points on your rewards product for 16th and 17th.
Number 4.
A Memorial Weekend stay is the to play. Book your room today. Call 888 Morongo now.
3.
Party down in our gaming pit. All players at your table can win up to $100 in ownership. From 2 to 10 p.m. Friday.
And the number 2.
Latin Sunday. Salsa, merengue, the night away. Every Sunday night at the Sideline Stage.
And the number 1 reason to go to Morongo Casino Resort and Spa.
The marketplace is open. 7 unique culinary experiences under one roof. All you can eat for one price.
Morongo Casino Resort and Spa. Morongo. Get down!
Visit WDC Kitchen and Bath in Moore Park for the open back sale. Get 75% off on appliances through April 30th. Don't miss out on huge savings. Go to WDCappliances.com. That's WDCappliances.com.
Hey, kiddo, ready to watch that movie?
Almost. Well, it's time to nap. Yep, all set.
Nah, that's not required, is it?
No, but it's gonna be busy and crowded, so I'll feel better with it on.
Deep right? Ears open and mouth. I'm glad now.
Nice! You'll pass the vibe, Dad!
Wearing a mask when it can help protect you and others is just one way to keep each other safer. Brought to you by the California Department of Public Health.
At Ralph, we believe it takes the right team to bring you the freshest produce. That's why we partner with farmers to grow even the best. And that level of teamwork means better, fresher options time and time again. Working with farmers is what it takes to be fresh for everyone. Ralph, fresh for everyone.
We're hiring for immediate openings with next day pay, benefits, and great perks. Apply today at jobs.kroger.com/Ralph. American Vision Windows, SoCal's choice for energy-efficient windows and doors. AmericanVisionWindows.com.
KFI AM 640.
The news, what it means, why it matters.
KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. No, don't freak out. If all of a sudden you're thinking to yourself, wait, it's Wednesday? Isn't Jane normally on this time on Wednesdays? Yes, she is. But it's Tuesday. Jane changed up her schedule a little bit this week because her schedule got changed up on her. So we'll explain what she's talking about in just a second. I'm Jennifer Jones-Lee, and some of the stories we're watching in the KFI 24-hour newsroom. Investigators say that mass shooting at a church in Laguna Woods was politically motivated by tensions between China and Taiwan. Tesla CEO says his deal to buy Twitter can't go forward unless the company shows public proof that less than 5% of the accounts on the platform are fake or spam. And Dodger Stadium goers can now order concessions through Uber Eats. So you go to the park and you're like, I don't want to wait in that line for my Dodger dog. Now you just order it through Uber Eats and you can skip those long lines. Jane Wells, good morning. Follow Jane on social media at Jane Wells, and her weekly bulletin comes out at janewells.bulletin.com. Jane, where are you this morning, and why are we talking pork?
I am in Omaha, Nebraska, Jennifer, and I'm kind of hearing myself.
Oh,
I'm in the echo. Look out.
Tyler's
Hold on.
moving stuff around. I see buttons being
Okay.
pushed.
Now I'm better. Can you hear me?
Yeah, hear you great.
Okay, cool. I'm in Omaha, Nebraska, but I've been actually spending the week so far in Iowa because 4 years ago, California voters passed Prop 12, which forces anybody who's going to sell pork into the state that the mother pigs of that pork have to have at least 24 square feet each, so they have room to move around and turn around, and they cannot be confined in crates like for almost their entire life. Because for some pork producers keep their sows, their mother pigs, in crates for a long time, some more, some less. But I talked to two farmers, one who's already compliant with Prop 12 and one who is not, to talk about how their business model works either way. Now, Prop 12 is supposed to kick in January 1st. It's on hold because the state is still trying to figure out the regulations. And the pork industry is suing California and going all the way to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court has agreed to hear the case in the fall, saying, one state cannot put an undue financial hardship on the way commerce is conducted in other states. So far, California has won in the lower court. But if Prop 12 succeeds at the high court, then very few hog farmers in the country have prepared to change the way they do business, and we could end up with, at least on a temporary basis, a shortage of pork or bacon that can be sold in the state. So this could be something interesting to watch as the Supreme Court takes up the case in the fall.
And is this because did they not prepare because they figured there's no way that this can ever actually get put into place?
I think they haven't been preparing because it costs too much money. Now, let me talk about the two farmers that I interviewed. One is in Albert, Iowa, and his name is Dwight Mogul, and he has a massive operation. He produces 200,000 pigs a year, okay? It's huge. In 2015, his family decided we want to be forward thinking. They spent $12 million on this state-of-the-art facility where the mother pigs have 20 square feet, and the facilities, they got plenty of room, but it's not 24, but for each pig, the equivalent of 20 square feet. And he only keeps the sows in the crate for 7 days when they are in heat, because when a sow is in heat, they get rambunctious and they start attacking each other. And so this is a way, he says, of protecting his sows. He would have to spend millions more dollars to add on to his facility so that each sow has 24 square feet. And he thinks he'd have lower productivity from his sows because they would be kicking each other and biting each other when they're in heat. Now I talked to another guy who is California compliant, Prop 12 compliant. He's in Elliott, Iowa, and he raises hogs for Nyman Ranch in California, which is, always sort of grass-fed beef and all kinds of, special ways to raise the livestock. But he only raises 1,000 pigs a year. But his pigs, he does it old school. His sows, they're out on the range. There are big hoop pens if they want to get out of the ring. But they have like little A-frame things they can go into and good birds if they want to go in and out of. They are never crated. He says he picks most of the pigs based on their genetics, that they are not wound up, as he says, they're low-key. Also, by the way, he does not do artificial insemination like 99% of the rest. He says, quote, the boar does his job. So it's very traditional, and it's a little bit more expensive in terms of the product that you pay for, but it's only 1,000 pigs a year versus the guys who's giving his pigs more room, 200,000 pigs a year, but still not compliant.
Wow, and I was just going to ask about the cost effectiveness of that, but then you sort of made it up right there in the numbers of one guy who can do 1,000 versus 200,000. I mean, that's incredible. In the compliance, I guess, department for the guy who said, the one farmer who said, I already give them 20 feet each, was he saying he's willing to do it? Is he forced to? Or is he saying it would be so cost ineffective he'd just say, forget it all?
No, he's saying right now, forget it. We shall see. It's California is the largest pork market in the country, yet we produce so little. I think we only produce 3% of our own pork. So we consume 15% of the domestic pork supply. So, he's saying people are going to have to learn to live without California, or maybe there'll be a voter uprising and they can't get bacon or bacon is so expensive because there's so little of it. But, California's growing six waiting around when it comes to auto emissions. And mileage. And back in the day, at first the court was like, no, you can't go to do it. But they come around because capital is so important. So that's what we have to see is if this holds up, and if the state can get its act together on what the regulations are, and that's a whole other thing, because if they can't implement it because they can't figure out what they're going to do. Then at some point, do Californians raise up? Do they start going to Arizona to get their pork? Although other states may take up Prop 12 regulations as well, and does the pork industry start to come around?
And I wonder too, by the way, Jane, I just got the U.S. inflation numbers, retail sales numbers, that is.
Oh, what were they?
They've gone up 0.9% in April, and they say it's a sign of consumer resilience amid high inflation.
I'm telling you, Jennifer, we have not gotten we say we're scared.
Yeah.
But we're still spending, although part of that number may be that we're not buying as many things, but the fewer things we are buying cost so much more that the sales number goes up, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And then when it comes to, speaking of costs, also the food or the feed prices, I guess, for these hog farmers, that's got to go up, I would imagine, incrementally because of inflation and shortages and things like that.
Corn and soybean prices, which are used to feed pigs and cows and things, are at multi-year highs. They're very, very expensive. Now, the guy who sells to Nyman says Nyman will raise its price to him to help, but his margins are still coming down. The other guy with 200,000 pigs, he got break even right now because he has no pricing power with the packing plant. So he's just having to eat that cost, literally. And this is a time of year when hog farmers make their money because we go into grilling season. So we all know, meat costs more, but the hog farmer is not always making it.
All right, Jane, thank you so much, first of all, for coming on early with us this week to make sure that you could do your biz buzz with us.
I love you guys. I moved. I had to be on this week. I had to be on.
I love it. I mean, I think, honestly, this is such a big story, and I know a lot of people are like, well, we'll see what happens. No, you're going to start freaking out if you don't have your bacon every day. I know how this is going to go.
Stock up. Get that freezer full.
Absolutely. Jane, thank you so much. Safe travels.
Take care.
All right, see you later. That is CNBC's Jane Wells. Follow her on social media at Jane Wells, and her weekly bulletin is janewells.bulletin.com. Be sure you subscribe to that. But yeah, you guys are going to start freaking out. I know you are. You're going to start complaining, and you're going to say, why didn't you tell me about this? Before your email even gets to that point, I'm going to say, da. Jane did. Not only did I, but Jane did. And she's the authority on everything in my world. I've always said, someday I want to be Jane Wells. All right, California Attorney General Rob Bonta has asked a court to put the $320 million sale of Angel Stadium on hold. There's a detailed FBI affidavit that shows Anaheim's mayor is under investigation for public corruption. This is Harry Sadu. The Attorney General said yesterday he does not yet know whether the facts uncovered in the investigation might make the sale of the stadium illegal. Oh, Frank Sinatra, take me out to the ball game. Dodger Stadium goers can now order concessions through Uber Eats. Uber announced yesterday it would offer Uber Eats at select stadiums so fans can order without waiting in long lines. It says people can enter their seat location and see the closest concession stand wait time. Once their food is ready, you just walk right up there and pick it up. If you've... Crozier. Oh, what goes on in your mind, Crozier? If you've broken your burrito, don't reach for the stapler.
Students at Johns Hopkins University have created unedible tape. The engineering students say they were specifically inspired by burritos that would always fall apart in their laps. They say step one was learning about tape and different kinds of adhesives. Then it was about finding edible versions of the adhesives. The tape activates when it is wet, stays put during cooking, and of course can be used for food other than burritos. They say they're looking to patent what they're calling tasty tape to keep the ingredients a secret, which they do say are food grade and are common food and dietary additives. Michael Crozier, KFI News.
Tasty tape. Have you ever licked tape? I mean, don't do it because it's probably harmful. But, I mean, I have. I don't. Let's move on from why. But it tastes terrible. And I can't imagine, you know what, sometimes you'll make a wrap, like a turkey wrap or something like that, and your tortilla is not the freshest. And you go to roll it, and half the tortilla breaks open. And you're supposed to put this tasty tape on it. I don't know. I need it. What's it going to be, like tortilla flavored or egg roll wrapper flavored? I'm just trying to think of things that you roll that break. There's a lesson. By the way, when we were talking bacon a second ago, it made me think of my favorite bacon. I know that this is weird that there's a favorite bacon, but Corner Butcher Shop in Laverne has the best bacon. I'm sorry, Grandpa Bill, if you're listening, but Corner Butcher Shop has the best bacon I've ever had in my life. It's a little pricey, but it is so worth it. And I've seen on their Instagram that Chef Jet Tila, like the celebrity chef Jet Tila, goes there specifically to get his bacon. That's how good the bacon is. So do yourself a favor, if you're in Laverne and you're a bacon lover, stop by Corner Butcher Shop, tell them that I said, get the bacon. Because they don't know that this is happening, and so if there's a run on their bacon, they'll blame me. But it's that good, you guys. It's worth it. All right, when we come back, I think I did a story about a month or so ago about the high cost of sending a kid to camp, right? Now you can help send a kid to camp with a new program called Send a kid to camp. That's coming up in just a second. Right now, let's get another look at your drive. Nick Paleocchini. Now it's slow on the 110.
Getting through South LA 10, it's going to be a heavy drive for folks as they're making way from as far back as, before Manchester, leaving Century Boulevard toward Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard, knock on wood. For the northbound on the 110, not too bad for the time being through downtown from the 10 to the 101. It is problems for you as you're making it through Pomona along the 71 South transition to the 60 East. It's a crash involving a motorcycle and a fatality crash investigation that has lanes blocked. So the southbound 71 going to be a mess for your drive leaving Mission. Northbound 71 also seeing delays from the 60 back toward Mission. Plan for the 57 north and south as you're also into the 71. KFI and the Sky helps get you there faster. I'm Nick Paleocchini.
If you've listened to Handle on the Law for any length of time, you'll notice that I have never recommended a lemon law lawyer. Never found one I'm comfortable with until now. So let me introduce you to the Knight Law Group. If you've bought or leased a car and gone back repeatedly for a car repair to no avail, you may have a lemon on your hands. And you have rights under the California lemon law. Every year, car manufacturers produce and sell cars that have real problems and you're stuck with them. Well, you can actually do something about it now. Call the Knight Law Group. They can help you get rid of your lemon and get your money back. And you don't pay anything out of pocket. Call for a free consultation. Call the Knight Law Group at 844-43-LEMON, 844-43-LEMON, or visit knightlaw.com. That's Knight with a K, knightlaw.com.
Paid spokesperson. Every case is different. Results vary. Courtesy of Roger Kiernos, Knight Law Group, LLP.
This report is sponsored by personal injury firm Owen Patterson & Owen.
My biggest shock is when someone gets into an accident and they don't call a lawyer. Or worse, they call the wrong lawyer. If you've been injured in any way, call Owen Patterson & Owen, 888-OPO-WIN, OPOLaw.com.
The Dodgers got a homer from Chris Taylor and a strong start from Tony Gonsolin in a series opening win over the D-backs. They'll play a doubleheader today. The Angels were topped by the Rangers in the series opener. The team scored 9 runs total in a frantic first inning. They'll have a rematch tonight. And the Lakers are reportedly asking head coaching candidates how they would utilize Russell Westbrook. Russ has a $47 million player option for next season. I'm Misty Jordan.
Need new blinds or shades? Blindster.com offers custom-made blinds, shades, and shutters shipped directly to you at prices less than big box retailers. Blindster blinds are easy to install and guaranteed to fit. And right now, save 45% off any order. Just use code radio at checkout. Blindster.com.
Hey, it's Dean Sharp. The Americans with Disabilities Act, or ADA, guarantees equal access for the disabled as a constitutional right. The problem is, even though it's been the law of the land since 1990, most brick-and-mortar businesses and commercial properties and multi-unit dwellings are still not in compliance. Your property or place of business without a CASP certification is a lawsuit waiting to happen. And if you think, it's not a big deal, you should know that California leads the country in ADA lawsuits. So what do? You call RCOR. RCOR will identify your ADA deficiencies and show you the path to the certification you need to minimize your exposure. One ADA lawsuit can break you. Get out in front of liability with ADA certification from RCOR. Call RCOR toll-free at 866-613-2519. That's 866-613-2519, or go to adagurus.com.
On the podcast Not Lost, embark on a journey to all the destinations on your bucket list. From Mexico City to Montreal, as strangers become new friends, drinking, dancing, and eating their way through each episode.
What comes to mind when we think of Montreal? I definitely think of poutine, of course.
I think of you guys. They're everywhere.
Listen to Not Lost on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts. Brought to you by DuckDuckGo. Protect your privacy online for free with DuckDuckGo.
Injured? There's only one firm to know. It's OPO. Go to OPOLaw.com.
We've got your new AC, and we're ready to install it. Kenny anticipated those supply chain problems. We built a bunch of new ghetto systems before the prices jumped up.
Buy a new ghetto today, and we'll install it tomorrow.
Ghetto, G-O-E-T-T-L.
Unclog your drain for only $77 with Rooter Hero.
If your business has 5 or more employees and you manage to survive COVID, you're eligible to receive a payroll tax rebate of $26,000 per employee. And this is not a loan. It's yours. The challenge is getting your hands on it. How do you cut through the red tape? How does your business get the money? Go to getrefunds.com. They're specialists in this little-known payroll tax refund program, and they do all the work. No charge up front. They share a percentage of the cash they get for you. Businesses of all types can qualify, including those who took PPP money, nonprofits, even those that had increases in sales. They got my business a six-figure refund, and their average client gets $250,000 back. Go to getrefunds.com, click on the Qualify Me button, answer a few questions, they do the rest. Getrefunds.com, getrefunds.com.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
There is a great solar farm on the way to Las Vegas.
Oh, yes.
And if you ever see a bird flying in there,
Handle.
the bird gets vaporized.
Bill Handle.
That's why it takes me so long to go to Las Vegas, because I park right next to it and just sit there and wait an hour or two.
Mornings from 6 to 10
You probably do bird calls out your door.
I haven't thought of that.
on KFI.
Oh, everybody's favorite bird lover. Coming up at 6:05. KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. This is your wake-up call. I'm Jennifer Jones-Lee. Some of the stories we're watching in the KFI 24-hour newsroom. A vigil was held last night in Irvine to remember the people killed in mass shootings last weekend, not just the one at the Geneva Presbyterian Church. That's the one in Orange County where you had one person killed and 5 others hurt. But officials also honored the people in Buffalo who were killed in that market. 10 people were killed on Saturday. 3 others were injured. All right, on a much more bright note, we've been talking about how much money it costs to send a kid to camp. And this year, if you look at inflation, if you look at staffing shortages, if you look at just the supply chain issues, all of that has impacted the price of sending a kid to camp. And right now, the Press-Telegram has launched its 23rd annual Send a Kid to Camp Fund campaign. And we want to talk more about how you can help send a child to camp who really wants to go to camp but just doesn't have the finances to do it. So this morning, we've got 2 people joining us this morning. Rich Archibald and also Marcel Epley join us from Send a Kid to Camp. Thank you both for joining us this morning.
Great to be here, Jeff. Thanks for inviting us.
Absolutely. So, Rich, let's start with you. Tell us a little bit about what Send a Kid to Camp is all about.
Well, it's a terrific idea that started out in 1999, 22 years ago. Jean Bixby Smith of the iconic Bixby family in Long Beach came into my office. I was managing editor of the Press-Telegram, and she asked me, what do you think of the idea of sending kids in the underserved areas of Long Beach to a week at a mountain camp? I said, that's a terrific idea. I think I have just the man who can handle that. And that was Tom Hennessy, who was a very popular local columnist. Tom loved the idea, and he started it 22 years ago, and it became a great hit with readers and one of Tom's favorite charities. We now call these kids Tom's Kids because Tom passed away in 2016. But the whole idea is very simple. Send a kid to camp for a week in the mountains, away from family, etc. It's a terrific idea, and we love doing it.
Marcel, I know you're the president of the foundation. Talk a little bit about the kids who need this specifically. And when you talk about sending a kid to the mountains, a kid who grew up in L.A. might have never even been to the mountains before.
You're absolutely right, Jennifer. And the Long Beach Community Foundation, this partnership with the Press-Telegram goes so far because there's nothing better than a sleepaway camp experience where these youth have these opportunities to not only connect with their peers outside of their towns, but they have these outdoor experiences like stargazing and rock climbing, archery. They can ride horses and do things that you just can't do in the city. And we are just so excited because every year it gets bigger and better, and it's truly a community rally for the health and well-being of these deserving kids. There are other events like a Big Bang on the Bay, the fireworks show over there at the Boathouse. They raise funds. Everybody from all corners of Long Beach come to support these youth, and it's the organizations included are the Girl Scouts, the Long Beach Boy Scouts, Campfire, YMCA of Long Beach, and Boys and Girls Club of Long Beach.
Rich, have you noticed this year more kids, I guess, that you were helping or more kids in need just because of you look at everything, the pandemic, inflation, supply chain, all of that. Everybody is being hit in the pocketbook. So I can imagine that there are fewer and fewer parents who have the funds right now to send a kid to camp.
Oh, there's no question, Jennifer. We are getting so many sad stories from especially single mothers who are saying just don't have the money to send so-and-so to a camp. Can you help us out? And as Marcel said, the Big Five youth group in the applications of these adults to send kids to camp, they have these tearful stories about how they've lost their jobs because of the pandemic, etc. And the waiting list is very, very long. And so obviously we continue to ask our donors and our readers for as much money as they can afford.